So apparently, Diddy's been making calls from jail, and last night, one name came up 50 Cent. But here's the twist: a prison warden just leaked why that call happened, and it's not what you think. See, we all know Diddy's knee has been bothering him. He was even taken to a Brooklyn hospital under cover of darkness for an MRI. Sources say that hospital trip took place around 10 p.m. to avoid any speculation from prison staff or other inmates. The medical scan was authorized because his knee was bothering him, citing the rapper's long history of knee issues after he ran the New York Marathon. But what if that hospital trip wasn't just about his knee? What if it was about something far worse? Because remember, Jaguar Wright's been saying for years that Diddy's been hiding HIV, and now a Warden's report supposedly confirms it. And here's where 50 Cent comes in. Sources say Diddy didn't just call him, he begged him for something. But before we get into that, let me explain why this call might be the biggest leak in the entire Diddy scandal. Because if you thought the freak-offs were bad, wait until you hear what's happening inside that prison cell right now. Stay with me because the dots are finally connecting, and 50 Cent might be the only one who can expose the truth. Within a few days of his arrival at the prison, Combs found himself in trouble. He made a 3-person call on 3 November, in violation of prison rules. The Bureau of Prisons prohibits inmates from adding multiple people to a call, and inmates can only speak to people on prison phones from previously approved call lists. Prison officials recommended Combs lose 90 days of phone privileges and 90 days of commissary privileges for the infraction. But this time, it wasn't about procedure, it was about desperation. According to reports from inside Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution, a prison warden allegedly corroborated what Jaguar Wright has been attempting to tell us about Diddy's health for years. Since he found himself in that prison cell, Diddy's health has been quickly declining. We assumed it was only the fallout from the rumored freak-offs and the abrupt changes in lifestyle. No Wi-Fi, bed checks, monitored phone call. But our sources say it's far worse. Purportedly, Diddy is fighting serious STDs, not 1, not 2, not even 3. Word on the street is that it's quickly making its way through the prison population. Because if you believed for a second that Diddy was going to alter his ways simply because he was restricted, but you thought wrong. As a matter of fact, reports suggest that the seclusion has really worked to his favor. Lengthy before his imprisonment, Diddy already had billionaire status. He has the connections and the power, and according to accounts, those things have continued to operate in his advantage despite his confinement. His standing among the prisoners has supposedly even improved as a result. But here's the critical part: when Diddy realized his condition was worsening, he made that desperate call to 50 Cent. Not for money, not for legal help, but for something that could expose the entire network he's been hiding for decades. Over the weekend, 50 took a shot at Diddy, who was reportedly sent to solitary confinement after an alleged fight in prison. During a performance at LIV Beach in Las Vegas, 50 Cent joked, "You could have been anywhere, you picked being here. Thank you, you could have been in Fort Dix with Puffy in the box." Last week, TMZ reported that Combs and an inmate got into a physical altercation at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey. A source told the outlet that Combs held his own in the alleged scuffle, which reportedly began with a push before punches were thrown. Melinda FCI Fort Dix spokesperson didn't confirm or deny the incident, telling TMZ, "We are not at liberty to disclose or provide internal information pertaining to any inmate in our custody. Such information would not be available for the public domain." But He was later accused of taking part in a three-way telephone call, which is prohibited in federal prison. Prison officials recommended Combs lose 90 days of phone privileges and 90 days of commissary privileges for the infraction. But this time it wasn't about procedure, it was about desperation. Because Diddy knew that if his condition kept spreading, someone was going to talk. And worsening was the only one who could stop it. Now let's flash back a bit to when Diddy was still on top, traveling among the elite echelons of society and bearing the prestige of the music industry's wealthy tycoon. Because according to these accusations, his medical condition wasn't just uncovered. Some claims allege Diddy had it long before, dating back to his relationships with Cassie. And according to others, even Kim Porter. I don't think nobody in America thinks there's nothing suspicious about Kim's death. Bro, if you are rich like that, you could call any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, she could have called an ambulance. Everything is suspicious about her death. The official cause was lobar, but other sources have suggested that she tested positive for HIV before her abrupt demise. Kim's father stated he never entirely trusted the pneumonia explanation. He spoke publicly claiming he didn't think that's how Kim died. In his heart, something seemed odd, and he wasn't alone in doubting it. Then there's Craig Mack, the bad boy pioneer, who unfortunately passed away from AIDS-related issues. Online claims indicate he distanced himself from Diddy after seeing problematic conduct up close. Was it merely a coincidence, or did he walk back after paying a horrible price for being in that circle? And this is where 50 Cent comes in, because Diddy's call wasn't just about his health. It was about stopping 50 from exposing the entire network that Kim Porter, Craig Mack, and countless others were part of. Combs, 56, is slated for release on Feb 8, 2028, could be released earlier for good behavior. But the question remains, what happens when he gets out? Because if his condition is really spreading, and if 50 Cent has the evidence he claims to have, the story is far from over. According to multiple reports, the altercation began after another inmate reportedly made a remark toward Diddy, and prison staff quickly. 50 Cent has publicly mocked Sean Diddy Combs following reports that the music executive was placed in solitary confinement after an alleged altercation at a federal prison. So what do you think? Is Diddy's call to 50 Cent a desperate attempt to cover up decades of secrets? Or is this just another chapter in their long-running feud? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is far from over.